T-Bird fans, we welcome you to a brand new edition of T-Bird Talk. I'm Cloud County Community College Sports Information Director, Toby Nosker. On this week's edition of T-Bird Talk, we'll have an opportunity to visit with two members of the Cloud County Community College volleyball team when we're joined by Ylvie Schmid of Germany and Brooke Lougheed of Alberta, Canada. Despite resilient defense and strong energy, the Cloud County Community College volleyball team fell to number 11 Colby Community College in Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference play Wednesday night at Ylvie Schmid Gymnasium. The Trojans claimed the victory by set scores of 25-22, 25-17, 25-11. The loss marks Cloud County's fifth loss to a ranked opponent this season. The T-Birds dropped to 6-19 overall and 0-9 in Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference action with the loss. Colby, meanwhile, improves to 18-4 on the year and 10-0 in conference play. Now, Cloud County concludes a six-match homestand Saturday when they host Garden City Community College. Garden City is 8-10 overall and 5-4 in conference action. The Broncbusters are coming off a week layoff after recently suffering a 5-set home loss to Colby last Saturday. Earlier this season, the T-Birds dropped a match in straight sets at Garden City, 10-25, 15-25, 14-25 on September 10th. In that match, sophomore Carly Colgren led the T-Birds with 5 kills. Redshirt freshman setter Addison Ogle had 13 assists, while sophomore defensive specialist Rachel Shakeen had 6 digs. Now, this Saturday's match will be streamed live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com, with first serve scheduled for 3 p.m. Up next, we sit down with two freshman members of the T-Bird volleyball team, Ylvie Schmid and Brooke Lougheed. This is T-Bird Talk.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 Early Bird Scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
This week on T-Bird Talk, an opportunity to visit with two more members of the Cloud County Community College volleyball team. As this weekend, the T-Bird volleyball team will be in action at home, closing out a 6-match homestand when they host Garden City Community College on Saturday. First serve is scheduled for 3 p.m. from Ylvie Schmid Gymnasium in Concordia, and we'll stream the match live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. Joining us today, freshman members of the T-Bird volleyball team. We have Brooke Lougheed from Canada, and also with us is Ylvie Schmid from Germany. And I appreciate the two of you taking time to join us. And Brooke, I want to begin with you. So just tell me, first off, where in Canada are you from?
I'm from like this tiny town in the middle of Alberta. It's called Spruce, and the school, there's one school, there's a grocery store, a gas station. That's just about it.
What'd you grow up doing as far as like activities, athletics? What kind of sports were you involved in as a kid? Kind of tell me a little bit about your life growing up.
I did all of them. It started with like soccer and hockey. Hockey's a big thing in my family. And badminton for some reason. I have 8 siblings, so I kind of just get a feel of it all, and I'm the youngest, so I just take on after them.
Tell me about the love of volleyball. When did volleyball enter the picture for you, and why is this a sport that you love so much?
My 2 oldest sisters played collegiate volleyball at RDP, right in the center of Alberta. They were a setter and a libero, and that's kind of what I've taken on playing here, but always watching them. All my siblings have played volleyball growing up, so I just started from when they first tossed the volleyball at me, and it just came from there.
At what point did it kind of hit you that, hey, maybe this is something that I can do like my siblings, that I can do post-high school, that this might be something that I can do at the next level?
I'd say it probably didn't start until U17, like a couple years ago when I realized that like height wasn't the largest factor when it came to volleyball. I always kind of wrote it off, thought that softball was going to be my one main sport, but as soon as I got given like the choice to take that opportunity, I knew it's what I wanted.
And you're coming to Cloud County Community College to do 2 sports. You're here for volleyball, but have also committed to play for the Cloud County Community College softball team. Take me through the recruiting process for you. What did that look like, and how excited are you that you have the opportunity to not have to choose between sports, but you actually get to do both?
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me, was having to choose. Everyone always asked me what my favorite one was, and I never had an answer. And so I was initially recruiting for softball. I talked to TJ, but every time I talked to softball coaches, I would kind of hint in there, do you allow dual scholarships? And I knew that if I had the opportunity anywhere, I wanted to take it, and I guess it led me here.
How did you hear of Cloud County Community College?
I went to a ball academy in St. Joseph. It's in Red Deer. And they knew Cloud from the baseball team. And so my coach, Jason Chatwood, reached out to the head baseball coach, and he just kind of connected me with TJ. And I guess I talked to him a lot.
Had you spent much time in the United States at all growing up?
I've spent quite a bit, just because my mom has a lot of work trips. And so they would always just bring me along, being the youngest, a little bit spoiled on that end. But they would just bring me everywhere. So Kansas, never been here. It's pretty.
I'll ask you about coming to Kansas here in just a moment. But you mentioned other siblings that had the opportunity to play collegiate sports, but they did so back home.
Yeah. My one sister, Emily had a chance to play hockey in states. I don't even know where, but she chose to stay local too. So I guess I'm doing. She told me if I had the opportunity, go away from home, get the experience, and that's what I'm doing. Was
that a goal of yours? To be able to come to the United States, was that something that you were desiring or you wanted to experience?
Well, Ball Academy made that pretty it was the dream, essentially. Ball Academy made that seem pretty ideal. But as soon as it became so open, it was do I stay home because I can stay home close to family, because I'm a big family person? But I don't know. I like the idea of being away from home and getting to experience my own things and just do things on my own.
And I want to talk about that transition and what the experience here at Cloud's been like. But let me bring Ylvie Schmid into the conversation as well. So Ylvie, where did you grow up in Germany?
So I grew up in a very, very small village. It's called Henn, and it's in Iserlohn, Germany. It's literally just like Brooke said. It has 2 grocery stores, a gym. That's basically it. And it's 1,000 people. So yeah.
As far as sports and the things that you were involved in growing up, what did that look like for you back home?
So I think my first sport was swimming, and I started it when I was 4 years old, I feel like. I did that for quite some time, I feel 5 or 6 years. Then I also got into track and field, which I didn't do a lot. It was just a hobby growing up for me. And then I switched to horseback riding, and then I switched to tennis after. And then I think in 4th or 5th grade, I started volleyball, and that's kind of what I was settling on then.
What was it about volleyball that appealed to you? Why do you like the sport so much?
I feel I really like the team atmosphere that you can't, because the sports I did before, swimming, tennis, or horseback riding, you were just on your own and you couldn't connect with other people through it. Of course, you'd have a team, but you were always fighting for yourself. And I feel volleyball just really puts that team aspect into the focus, and you have to play well in order for your teammates to actually play well with you.
When did you start thinking more seriously about, hey, maybe this is something I can do, post my high school experience?
So it's very different in Germany, because in Germany there's no connecting between school and volleyball, so you couldn't go to school to play volleyball at a school. So I was definitely sure that I didn't want to give up volleyball, but I just didn't know how to connect both parts. And then I came across the opportunity of going to America to do it, and I just thought that it was a great experience for me personally to connect both parts of school and volleyball, because I didn't have to choose one, that I have to of course my academic part is still important to me, but I didn't have to prioritize one as I would have in Germany. So I started my recruiting process actually pretty late in May 2025, because that's the first time I really came across it. And then that's the first time I really started thinking about doing this at a collegiate level.
Had you been to the United States before?
Nope, I haven't. I was going to go in 2020, but then all of the COVID-19 came and I couldn't go. So this is my first time here.
Were you excited about the opportunity coming over to the United States for the first time?
Definitely. I was excited. My sister did an exchange year here, and she kind of made me not worry about it, but she kind of like said, okay, this is going to be weird for you, and like you're not going to like it. And I was like, okay, let me try it anyway. And I feel like I've been liking it so far, and I'm very excited about being here. Yeah.
How did Cloud County Community College then enter the picture? You said the recruiting process really started late. Mm-hmm. How did you hear about Cloud?
So I did my recruiting process with an agency, and basically all I had to do was send them film, and they cut my highlight video. And then I just got like a bunch of offers, and Cloud County Community College was one of them. So that's how I stumbled across it, yeah.
Now, for either one of you, did you guys commit? Were you signed as far as coming to Cloud without actually ever stepping on campus? You hadn't been to the campus, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I never came here. It was
So take me through those initial first days that you arrive in Kansas at Cloud County and in Concordia. Brooke, kind of just what was your overall impressions coming here?
I was just walking in circles. I don't understand the halls still to this day. It's literally just 3 circles. They call it pods. I don't know what pod my class is in. I just know that it's by the stairs.
The whole school, it's just giant circles.
It's just circles. Like even the library is like,
Were you, because you both mentioned coming from smaller communities, Brooke, the fact that Cloud is a smaller school, is that nice?
Yeah.
Do you like the fact that you're in kind of a smaller community setting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I live really close to a small community, and I always grew up there. And then once it hit high school for me, I moved to like the city that's closest to me. And so I like being able to come back to that like small environment where everyone knows everyone, and you're just you're all connected in a way.
Ylvie, for you, do you like the fact that this isn't some massive campus, that it's a little smaller, tight-knit community?
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say that, especially because it's like there's nothing here, people are kind of forced to talk to each other and like build communities and have groups with each other. Yeah, so I really like that, like you're forced to hang out with people on campus, and that just really like creates a tight community.
Now, I've talked about this with some of your teammates on the podcast, that when you all arrive, you're the very first ones here. You're on campus. You begin, workouts and preseason practices and everything, really like 3 weeks before the rest of the student body even arrives. It gives you a chance really to hone in and focus in on the sport itself, to get to know your teammates, all of that sort of thing. Brooke, what was those initial few weeks like for you? Was there any moments of like homesickness, questioning, did I do the right thing? Kind of take me through those first few weeks in the preseason for you.
Well, at first it was a little bit weird because me and Berkeley chose to live with softball. And so we moved into this empty house, and it was just us. And then all the volleyball girls were in another building, and we never knew if anything was going on. But then as soon as conditioning started, I really appreciated that empty building. I really appreciated going home to nothing and just like my own room. I love my roommate now, but like my own room and just like laying there in the pitch black. It was a lot of volleyball. I know me and Ylvie had a couple walks where we're walking and we're just like, America, man, it's America. But it was so weird. It was like, I enjoyed it, but as soon as everyone got there, like things got so much easier for some reason. Just having all these other people and like other people to connect with other than volleyball, it made you appreciate volleyball and the days a little bit more.
And I know, those days can get long when that's all you're doing is volleyball itself. Were you glad to have then the rest of the student body arrive, the actual start of school to begin, where you could kind of now create a routine here?
Oh yeah, I think that as soon as those 6:30 a.m. mornings ended, my life got so much better. It was so good to make new friends outside, especially with softball coming in and getting to meet all of them. Like, I like being able to adventure out of the team and have like those friends that you can go to that aren't necessarily always there. So it was nice meeting new people.
Ylvie, for you, what was the initial first few days in Kansas like? What was kind of your initial impressions of this new place that you were going to be calling home this year?
So I'm not going to lie, the first 3 weeks were hell. I came home every day after practice and just cried because I couldn't do it. I was like, it was just long days, 3 practices a day, and then you started your day at 6:30, and it was repetitive for the next 3 weeks, and you're always with the same people, and it was just like very, very tiring, and your body, you were sore constantly, like 24/7, 3 weeks straight. You didn't get sleep, like you did get sleep, but like not really sleep that made you feel good. And then for me, especially like the homesickness part really came into the picture because I was like, okay, maybe like I'm not completely happy here because it was just like so tiring. And then I started to think about what it would be like being back home and being with my friends and being with my family. And then I just like started to think about that. And so it actually came across my mind to go back home within those first 3 weeks. And I talked to Hilda about it, and she said that it's a normal thing, especially for international students, and to just wait it out. And I feel like that in the like next 2 months that it's the right decision for me to leave. But as soon as, like Brooke said, as soon as the new students, or like not new students, but other students came in and the campus just got fuller, and there's like not just volleyball on campus and the same people you have been with the past few weeks, it just kind of got easier, and everybody like built their own routine, and you're just not being in the same place with the same people for the whole time you're being here. Yeah.
But you're happy that you were able to kind of push through those moments.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm definitely grateful that I had the strength to do it, because I was really thinking about it. I'm not gonna lie, but especially I feel like Brooke helped me too, because just knowing that someone else was feeling the same way I felt, like being homesick and being away from home. And I felt like we had a lot of conversations about that at the start of the year. So I feel like we just kind of supported each other in that.
Brooke mentioned coming from a pretty big-sized family. What's your family background like, and how difficult was it for you to leave them?
So I have 3 older siblings, but all of them are already moved out. So I'm not really, like I am close with them, but they're not like close, like living in my house close. So it wasn't really hard for me to leave those people, but they live like right next to me. So it's still weird, like not coming home, seeing my mom and having like being able to debrief with her about like the day, or like joking with my dad. So it's just been kind of weird not having that support system around me and just being with my friends for the whole time. So I feel like it's been a hard part, but I'm getting used to it now. And I feel like that's just a step to take into my life and something that I have to deal with.
And obviously technology now makes it pretty easy to still remain in touch. You deal with the time zone factor and the time change, right? But what would you say has been the most challenging aspect maybe for you? You know, pressing through kind of the self-doubt that you talked about early on, but just adjusting to this new life for you, being out on your own, I assume for the first time, experiencing adulthood, away from your friends, away from your family. What would you say has been the most challenging aspect?
So I'd say it's definitely like organization, because I did do a lot for myself in Germany, but it's also been my mom that's been supporting me, especially because I'm 17 still, so I can't really do like all of the paperwork and stuff myself. And here I'm just kind of on my own, and I have to do it whether I like it or not. And there's no mom to say, hey, you still have to do this or still have to do that. So I think just organization and like having everything when it has to be done, like not school-wise, but like especially like internationally, and like everything that an international student has to have, and going into offices and like doing your appointments. I feel like that's been the hardest part.
Brooke, for you, and I know you've had an opportunity to actually have some family visit and surprise you on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, they come tomorrow.
They're coming again?
Yeah, my sister comes tomorrow.
I know that's been nice to be able to share this experience, I'm sure, with them. But what's the overall experience been like for you being out on your own for the first time? Removed, not as far removed as maybe Ylvie is from your family and friends, but again, being in a different country and experiencing newfound freedom, so to speak.
I love it personally. I love being away. It's so much fun. Like there's little moments where like I do miss like I have FOMO. Like we have a family group chat and they'll send photos and I'm like, oh, I wish I was there. Meanwhile, I'm like hanging out with Ylvie and I'm like, no, I kind of like what I'm doing. But my parents can't stay away. They come all the time. My sister and her husband are coming tomorrow. They're going to be here for a bit. But I don't know. I feel like I only get stuff done because I have Ylvie because I don't even wake up in the mornings without her coming and getting me. Like, I didn't even schedule my international appointment. Ylvie did.
And she forgot about it.
And I forgot and I missed it and had to go back.
Because I didn't remind her.
You know, she has to remind me. But no, Ylvie, like, actually, like, she's the reason I get my stuff done. Like, even homework. But I don't know. I love being away from home and like being able to experience that and do that on my own, even though they're like always there. I miss my niece so much. Like all my nieces and nephews, but I have this little niece, Haven, and she's like named after me and she like grew up with me and she like wanted me instead of her mom. And now I just want to see her so bad.
Ylvie was talking about the conversations that you guys had early on about missing home.
Yeah.
Maybe those feelings of homesickness and how that kind of brought the two of you together. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit more about your friendship and what is it about Ylvie that you like? Why do you feel so connected to her? Again, coming from such different backgrounds, you from Canada, her from Germany.
I have no idea why I'm her friend. Something about her, we just, like, get each other. Like, I won't say a word, and she'll just, like, say the sentence that's in my head. And it, like, kind of freaks me out sometimes. But I don't know. I feel like we've kind of clicked since the beginning, and we have a class every morning together. And I probably wouldn't make it to that class if it wasn't for her being in it. So, I don't know. I just hang out with her all the time, and she understands me, and it's so easy to talk to her, and we're in the same position. Freshmen, we started out as setters. I don't even know what I am. I play defense. I'm a DS now. But I don't know. She supports me so well, and I try to do the same. But she's just always there, and I like being able to go to her.
Ylvie, for you.
So we have this little ongoing joke where we say we're Canada and Germa.
Yeah. That has a background, though.
Because someone asked us where we're from, and then it was me, Zoe, and Brooke.
Yeah, she's our little trio.
Yeah, and Zoe started, yeah, I'm from Seneca, and then she said, yeah, I'm from Canada, and then I just said, yeah, I'm from Germa, and I forgot the rest of my country. So ever since then, it's just been Seneca, Germa, and Canada. And I don't know, I feel like we are basically the same person, just living different, like, lives.
Yeah.
Like, we have the same humor, we have the same interests, and I just feel like we're always there for each other. Like, it's always breakfast tomorrow, and we go, yeah, breakfast tomorrow. So it's always just like
15 minutes late every time.
Yeah. So it's always just like, I don't know, being there for each other, talking to each other, joking with each other. I think that joking with each other is a big factor in our friendship. And
those
it's just like,
bowls.
Yeah, I feel like
Food.
she just makes my life a little less heavy than it usually would be here.
I need to ask, because we talk about organization, and then, Brooke, you're crediting Ylvie a lot for making sure that you're getting where you need to go to each day. Once we talked about the early practices and what that's like, but once you get into school, now you're making a lot of road trips, spending a lot of time away from school, but yet you're student athletes, right? And Ylvie talked about this, the student part being just as important, if not more so, than the athletic side of things. And so I know you guys want to make sure you're getting everything done in the classroom that you need to as well. Has that been a challenge, though, especially because the volleyball season has been so active, with trips to Texas and, you're going all over. Has that been difficult, Brooke, to balance, to make sure that you're getting everything done that you need to get done and staying on top of it while having to commit yourself so much to the sports and activities you're involved in?
I'm going to be honest, the school here is really easy, weirdly easy. Like, the math that I'm doing right now in college algebra is from middle school. Like, I walked in and we were doing fractions, and I was so debating leaving, but I didn't. I don't know. I feel like the bus rides actually make it easier because me and Zoe and Ylvie purchased these dog beds, and they're like hammocks, and you just put them on the seat in the bus, and it's like a bed. I think I've slept. We had a 5-hour road trip. I slept 4 out of the 5. And the only hour I was up, it's because they woke me up for food. And so I feel like since we have study hall especially, it's so easy to just sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes. I'm going to do 30 minutes. And then I do an hour. And it's so easy to just like stay on task, especially with the schedules. I feel like junior college kind of makes it a little bit easier because your classes are shorter and they're like spread out throughout the week. But I don't know. I think the school here is like easy. And it's weird. I always expected it to be super hard.
Have you liked the professors? Have you liked the people that you've met on campus? Do you feel like they're people that are supportive? They want to see you succeed at whatever it is that you want to do here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I'm like very connected with them because I've been away so much. But like I sit in the front of every class I go to. Even though sometimes I may not be paying the most attention, I feel like I understand it well enough and I communicate with them, so it makes it a lot easier for them to enjoy like my presence as well.
Ylvie, how have you found the academic side of things, and are you enjoying the overall experience here at Cloud?
So I have to agree with Brooke. School here is very easy. Like, I thought it would be hard to maintain a good GPA, but I'm at a 3.8, and the one grade that I have a B in is just because of participation, which I'm still very mad about because there's nothing to talk about in the class.
Because he changed my grade.
Yeah.
We had the same grade in participation. I asked him, and he changed mine to 100, and he didn't change hers.
I'm still at a C. But yeah, I feel like especially because you are in those bus rides, it's getting so boring that you're actually debating doing schoolwork, and you just do it to get it over with. And yeah, I just feel like, especially Canvas is like a good organization tool for me personally, just because I can see all of my assignments that I have due, and I just usually get everything done on time. So I haven't had a problem with that at all.
Did you realize coming into Cloud that there would be a pretty diverse population with so many international student athletes? Not just from volleyball, but of course all of the other sports and things that are involved here at the college. Did that take you by surprise at all?
So when I had my phone call with Coach Hilta, she definitely told me that there's a lot of international students, and that like created a very diverse culture here. So that kind of was something that I was looking for in a college, because I was like, okay, I don't want to be the outsider and be the only weird girl from Germany. And then Coach Hilta also sent me the number from Nilo, which is the president of the International Student Association.
Correct, yep.
Yep. And we just kind of texted and we got along. And so I was like, okay, it's definitely like, there's a lot of international students, and I won't feel weirded out just by being like at a full American campus. Yeah.
And do you feel like, as I was asking Brooke, like there's a support system that exists here that the folks that you've come into contact with, like, do you feel like they're supportive? They want to see you succeed here at Cloud?
Yeah, definitely. So professors, I feel like, especially us as student athletes, we communicate with them when we're going to be away, and they're really understanding about it, and they give us makeup assignments and just really do anything for us to keep that grade up. And other than that, I feel like we have a lot of good options, especially like the library is a good resource that we can use, or the SSC. And I was really surprised by the free counseling that is on campus and the mental health coaching that is on campus. Because I just feel like that, especially for international students, when you have no one to talk to, like really off family here, I feel like that's a good resource to fall back on and kind of like debrief about.
I want to talk a little bit about volleyball. Brooke, you mentioned how you've kind of bounced around in different positions this year, where you and Ylvie, as well as redshirt freshman Addison Ogle, have split time at setter, but then you've also moved into a defensive specialist role. We've seen you come in and serve quite a bit. Kind of tell me a little bit just about you personally, how you feel like you've done this year, kind of your approach to things, and obviously knowing that you're competing for spots, with somebody like Ylvie, who's one of your friends, with Addison, these other girls that are pretty talented, they come in, they're trying to vie for spots too. So kind of tell me just a little bit about your mindset, your approach, and how you feel like you personally have done with the time that you've been given so far this year.
Well, I always have been like a bit of a utility player. Like my club coaches would rely on me. Like if we had a girl break her thumb last season and another girl injured the season before, and they just put me in outside. So I had to do like hitting and defense and serve receive. And so it was something that I always knew that I kind of excelled at. But I love setting. Like setting has always been so fun, just like running the offense. But I feel like coming here, like you have to adapt to the versatility because like Ylvie came in and I was like, what is she doing? I was like, I have no idea the footwork or anything that she's doing because I've always been so precise. And then she'd get the ball there and I'd be like, freak. Like I gotta put myself together. But there would be like Addison, I didn't even know she was a setter coming in here. And I kind of enjoy the competition and like being able to go there and be like, okay, she did that. I'm going to do this different. Like I'm going to do this better. But I like being able to look after like the defense and know that like I'm going to give the ball to the setter because I've been in those shoes and I know how tough it is. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I love defense. It's always been something that I've excelled at, and especially serving. I like being able to have that credibility when it comes to certain things.
And I was interested because you said how much you love setting, but to me, watching you throughout the course of this season, and you said it, that you feel like you excel defensively, and to me, it's been so much fun to watch you, hitting the floor, digging up some of the balls that you've been able to get to that I feel like others just wouldn't, and so that's been fun to watch.
Yeah, there's actually like an ongoing joke with my dive for some reason. Anytime I dive, there's dolphin noises on the court, and I never understood it until about a week ago when I started complaining about my back hurting, and then they decided to let me in on the joke. But no, I've loved it. It's so fun.
Ylvie, for you, how do you feel like you've transitioned to the style of play in the game here? And from a personal standpoint, how do you feel like you're playing and, going up against a really good competition and one of the tougher junior college volleyball conferences in the country, taking on, top 25 teams like Colby and Barton and Blinn College and others that we've seen this year. How do you feel like you've adapted to that?
So the play in America is definitely faster than it is in Germany, and like there's more variation in the plays. Because yes, in Germany, some people try to do like combo plays, but no one really does it in game. And I feel like in America, you just have to be ready for everything because the setters are so much more intelligent and have so much more court awareness than they have in Germany. So that's definitely been something that I'm getting used to. But especially like those good setters from Colby or Garden City or just like setters that I see in general, I feel like they're like not competition. Like of course there are competition, but I feel like they're just really someone I look up to because of course they have their height and they're ranked and they're like all these big people, but at the end of the day they're still the same age as I am, and I just feel like that's something that I can look up to and like not compare myself to and say, oh, I'm so much worse than they are, but like look up to and say, okay, I am actually able to get on that level that they are playing at.
We talk about the two of you and your friendship, but again, there has to be some internal competition, right? Because you play the same position. And we've seen throughout this season where you, Brooke, you, Ylvie, Addison as well, have all gotten starts at the setter position. And there may be times where one gets pulled and others coming in and having to jump in the middle of a highly competitive match. So, Ylvie, what's kind of your mindset when it comes to, your approach and, say if it's a game that you're not starting, but you're going to get an opportunity, now you're coming in, how do you go about trying to make the most of whatever moment it is that you may have?
So I feel like, especially for us three setters, there's no bad blood between us at all. Like there's no one that's trying to manipulate the other, and we're all just trying to make each other better. For example, something that I really appreciate when I was starting, and I really like to do dumps, and sometimes they don't work. So whenever I got a timeout when I was starting, I was like, hey, Brooke, do you see any open spots? And like she would tell me like, yeah, maybe the middle of the court, but also like deep corners if you can do that. So I feel like we're just trying to make each other better. Like it's a positive competition rather than a negative one where we actually try to tear each other down and take each other out for the spot on the court. And I really appreciate that because like it just drives me personally to get better and like to excel at things that they are good at, and just kind of trying to all around like perfect my play in every way, and like seeing where my weaknesses are and where their strengths are, and just kind of balancing that out to see how I can improve my play in general.
The Cloud County Community College volleyball team will be back in action at home coming up this Saturday as they wrap up a 6-match homestand, taking on Garden City Community College as the T-Birds this week, beginning the second half now of Kansas Jayhawk Community College conference play. First serve in the match between Cloud County and Garden City on Saturday is scheduled for 3 p.m., and we'll stream the match live for you on the T-Birds Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. Before I let the two of you go, though, we're going to play a little bit of a game, and this is what I call our final 4 questions. Okay. So I'm going to ask you 4 questions. I want each of you to give me an answer. It's okay if you have the same answer, but it's certainly okay if you have different responses as well. But we're going to play a game, and this is going to involve the rest of your teammates because I'm going to play a game called Who's Most Likely To. And I want you to provide me a response, but give me a little, background or reasoning behind why you're answering the way you are. Does that work?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Brooke, I'm going to let you go first. So, of your teammates, since we're sitting here today, we're doing this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Who do you feel of your teammates, who's most likely to have their own podcast?
Oh, probably
Who could you see starting one?
starting one. I feel like it'd be Zoe. I feel like Zoe's the type of person that if I get into her car, she's listening to a podcast. Like, it doesn't always have to be music. She's listening to a podcast, so I feel like she'd want to do that herself.
Ylvie?
I feel like, because they've told me that they want to start a podcast under you, actually, I feel like it'd be Kennedy and Julie, because they've talked about it, and they're always in practice, they're always bickering, they're always talking, they're always arguing, actually, but like not in a bad way. So I feel like they just like make a very communicative and like entertaining podcast.
After talking to him last week, they didn't need me here. They could have done just fine without me, so they could have done the whole podcast on their own. Ylvie, let me ask you another one. Who on the team is most likely to be the first one to practice?
Like the first one in the gym?
Yes.
So
I'm assuming it's not Brooke because you told me you got to
No.
lead her around. So
No. I'd have to say Addie. I just feel like Addie's so organized and just like, she's always sending reminders in the group chat, and she's just like telling everybody to be on time. So I feel like she's just the one that actually has her schedule on time and knows when to be there. Yeah.
Brooke,
Tori. My answer's Tori.
why?
Because I'm late. I know I'm late. But like, I will get to the training room probably like 20 minutes later than I should. And she's there and like, she's got her stuff on and she's like almost done her treatment. And I haven't even started at this point. And she's just like sitting there. I'm like, oh man. Like, I don't know. She's always there. As soon as I get to the gym, she's always there.
All right, Brooke, I'm going to stay with you on this next one. And obviously, I know everybody's disappointed overall with the record right now to this point. Still a month left of volleyball here, but obviously it's been a tough season. Mm-hmm. Who on the team, though, is most likely to give the best pep talk? Who's the motivator? Who's the person that can really get everybody going? Who's most likely to give the best pep talk?
I'm not going to vote myself. But I would say myself, but I'd say probably Kennedy. I feel like Kennedy and I always make like eye contact in the locker room and we're like, what do we say? Like, what should we say? Like, we lost the past 10 games. Like, what should we say? But I feel like Kennedy, if it's not me, it's Kennedy. Like, Kennedy always has something to say in the middle before, like as soon as we huddle in the middle of the court before the game starts, Kennedy likes to give that extra motivation, and I think it helps.
Ylvie, who would you say?
I am going to have to go with Brooke here. She's just always talking, especially like after games. She's giving us things we did like well and she thought went well in the game. And she's always giving us also, I feel like, tactical improvements that we have to do in our game. Other than that, I would also say Carly. Just for the reason, when Carly tries to give us a pep talk and be serious, she's literally giddy and smiling at us with the widest smile on her face and says, "Let's go, guys. Let's get this energy up." And we're all just, "Yes, Carly, yes." And I just feel like she lightens the mood whenever our sets didn't go well and we just like the team atmosphere isn't great at all.
All right, final question. Ylvie, I'll let you start. Out of all of your teammates, who do you feel is most likely to one day become a volleyball coach?
I'm gonna have to go with Brooke again, actually, just because she always says that it would be so fun to be a coach, and I feel like she has like the coach's perspective while being a player, and just like she's always telling me like, "I could have made a different lineup. Let me make the lineups." Or like stuff like, "Yeah, no, we got to change our block. We got to change our defense system." So like I feel like she already has that mindset of a coach. So I feel like she'd do really well as a coach.
Brooke, you want to be a coach someday?
Oh yeah, all my sisters were coaches, and like I think it comes with I want to be a teacher when I'm older. So I feel like if I'm going to be a teacher, I'll be the volleyball coach too.
I'm not going to let you answer yourself, though.
I'm not gonna. Oh.
So who would you say, other than you, is most likely to become a volleyball coach one day?
I want to say Carly. I think that she just has that internal motivation, and I think she like knows like tools. She has a lot of tools on her belt, and she knows what it feels like to be in multiple different positions as she like goes to both sides of the pin. But I don't know. I feel like she has that positive energy that comes with being a coach, as long as like the skill and the history with it.
Yeah, she's the daughter of a coach, so that helps.
Yeah, her mom.
I said that was going to be the final question, but I do have one more.
Okay.
Brooke, what are you majoring in?
Education.
What would you hope to do?
I want to become a high school teacher.
High school teacher? Teaching what?
I want to do sciences and maths.
Okay. Ylvie, what are you majoring in?
I am undecided, and I also have no clue what I want to do in the future. So I'm a blank slate.
That's why she's learning the history of rock music.
Yeah, it's actually a good class, guys. Do not.
And art appreciation.
She's just being a hater.
I'm a hater.
I'll let you guys bicker like Kennedy and Julie off air. But I appreciate the two of you taking time to join me this week. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 early bird scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
My thanks to Cloud County Community College freshman Brooke Lougheed and Ylvie Schmid for being our guest this week on T-Bird Talk. And we want to wish all the best to the Cloud County Community College volleyball team as they conclude a 6-match homestand at home this Saturday when they host Garden City Community College in Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference play. First serve Saturday is set for 3 p.m., and we'll stream the match for you live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. Now, this weekend, the Cloud County Community College women's and men's cross-country programs were expected to be in Hays, Kansas, taking part in the Fort Hays State University Tiger Open on Saturday. The T-Bird programs, though, announcing a scheduling change, and they will not be making the trip to Hays this weekend. The schedule shift now gives the T-Birds 3 weeks to prepare for the 2025 Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference NJCAA Region 6 Women's and Men's Cross Country Championships, which are set for Friday, October 24th at Meadow Lake Golf Course in Colby, Kansas. Hosted by Colby Community College, the men's 8K race will start at 10 a.m., while the women's 5K race will start at 10:45. Last weekend, Cloud County competed at the 37th Annual Chili Pepper Cross Country Festival in Fayetteville, Arkansas, hosted by the University of Arkansas. The Cloud County men's team placed 8th in the Prairie Fire Pepper 8K. Sophomore Galasa Abdisa led the way once again for the T-Birds, placing 19th out of 256 competitors with a time of 26:26.5. Sophomore Aziz Ben Brahim was next to cross, finishing in 28th place with a time of 26:47.2. Freshman Davis Miltner closely followed in 35th place at 26:58.8. Freshman Jesus Baltazar's time of 29:14.5 was good for 114th. He was followed by sophomore Cody Sharp, who finished in 150th with a time of 29:57.2. Freshman Zeb Schultz was 159th with a time of 30:18.4, while freshman Corbin Dykes and Nicholas Johnson rounded out the scoring with times of 31:01 and 31:28.4, respectively. The Clyde County women's cross-country team delivered 2 top 10 finishes in the Prairie Fire Pepper 5K at the Chili Pepper Cross Country Festival. The T-Birds were led by sophomore Mercy M. Gomchop, who finished in 3rd place with a time of 18:04.8. Sophomore Nanto Ube followed closely behind in 6th place with a time of 18:25.1. Freshman Marine Jep Churcher and Mackenzie Baker completed the scoring for Cloud County. Jep Churcher captured a 22nd place finish with a time of 19:18.7, while Baker rounded out the scoring by finishing 68th with a time of 20:28.5. In the weeks ahead, we'll be talking more about the Clyde County Community College women's and men's cross-country teams, as well as the T-Bird volleyball teams, as they make a final push in their 2025 seasons. Also in the weeks ahead, we'll be previewing the start to the Clyde County Community College women's and men's basketball seasons and the T-Bird wrestling season. New episodes of T-Bird Talk drop each Thursday, so make sure you're subscribed to the show on your favorite podcast platforms. T-Bird Talk is a production of the Clyde County Community College Athletic Department.